My grandpa had told my mom that to please save the farm and keep it a farm if at all possible. And so that was kind of the goal that we started with.
The program helped us sustain our livelihood, one monetarily, actually more than we paid for the farm in 1970, and it helped our retirement because we're not exactly rich people, and it made a little bit easier quality of life as we retire.
But I think also the community benefits greatly on having these open spaces preserved, and zoning can only do so much, and this is permanent, conserved for agriculture as an open space.
Whatcom County's population has increased significantly in the last 2 decades, resulting in an increased loss of our working lands. In order to protect our vital farmland, Whatcom County established the Purchase of Development Rights Program, now called the Conservation Easement Program. The Conservation Easement Program pays landowners to permanently protect farmland, forest land, and important ecological values. This is done through a voluntary conservation easement that protects the identified values of a property. Since the program's inception, over 1,500 acres throughout Whatcom County have been protected.
The program really is focusing on landowners who really want to protect and preserve their farmland. The program allows the farmer to unlock development right potential, and then they can reinvest that money into their farm. So it's really helpful for beginning farmers or even retiring farmers if you're wanting to unlock that development right value and then ensure that your land is then protected forever.
We came here in 1970, thought we'd live off the land, started raising dairy replacement heifers quite a bit later, and raised a few for one farmer, and then raised a lot. And then when the kids left home, the cows left, and my son came home from Wazoo, Washington State University, and said, "We need to do this. You pick vegetable farm." And we started that 16 years ago, and it's been a fantastic project. I learned about the Conservation Easement Program through a newsletter from the Conservation District newsletter, and thought, oh, that looks really interesting. I'd like to be involved in that. And called, and all went from there.
Farming's important to me because it's how I want to live. I want to be outside. I want to be with the animals. I want to see the processes that occur naturally and be a part of that and be connected to that and be connected to what we eat every day. The CEP program helped us. Some of the funds we put right back in to infrastructure, because it was basically we were starting over again. You know, all new, we had to put in all new water lines, all new fencing, all new structures, the barn blew down, new barn. And so it just so happened to coincide extremely well with what we were doing.
One thing I learned about the program was it was amazingly easy for us. We had identified the parcel, and then the county pretty much took that over and ran with it. They did appraisals and made us an offer that we felt was very fair for the development rights, and pretty much handled everything. Agriculture is very cyclical, and we were on some down years, and it was a much needed influx of cash, a substantial amount of cash that helped us pay bills and do some capital improvements. I grew up farming, so I think it's in my DNA and it's instilled to me. I went off and worked as an engineer, and I found myself a lot of the times on the phone or emailing or going to meetings and looking at my watch, wondering if the day was almost over. At that time, really determined that this is what I need to do as a career. It's my passion, and I love being out on the farm. I think one of the largest threats that farms in our area face in the long run is urbanization. We've got several million people to the north of us in Vancouver, and several million people in the south of us, the greater Seattle area. And if you look up and down the I-5 corridor, we've lost a lot of Whatcom counties in the process, such as the Kent Valley with beautiful soils, nice climate, and now it's paved over, and that's permanent, and it has just so many effects.
Well, I grew up, or as a young child, on a farm in Indianapolis area, and the large farm we had there is no longer a farm. It now grows mansions.
How we would like to see more of a balance. I feel like you can do both, right? And as far as farming goes, you know, we need to conserve the waterways, and farmers are really good at doing that. But it's also nice to keep some of the environmental factors too, the environment for the wild animals, and see if we can have a balance with that. And I feel like that's what the CEP does, and it keeps farms farms.
Protecting forest land and ecological areas also benefit the community by providing recreation, open space, and fish and wildlife habitat. The protection of farmlands and other working lands is critical to preserving our economy and quality of life for future generations of Whatcom County.